So the WNBA media never learn. They never learn. And it's funny how far behind with everything they are. How far behind in terms of just basketball media. And it seems like it's just knowledge of the game, ability to look overseas, ability to just know about what's going on just in general in basketball. Like, I remember seeing Chelsea Gray getting bumped to like the 14th best player in the WNBA because of Unrivaled, but yet everyone who balled out overseas were actually going lower because they didn't play in Unrivaled. It's such a backwards way of looking at things. And we've seen it with Malonga, how with all the highlights with Malonga and everything, people are like, how did Malonga not go number one? But there were mock draft boards, I'm not joking when I say this, that had Malonga in their second round up until a week before the draft when it was a given that she was going number two. And we're seeing it again. So we're looking at this 2026 WNBA draft way too early college board for women's college basketball prospects. Yeah. The WNBA 2026, let's project what it might look like. They have then just said, they've effectively called it the college draft. What year are we in? I'm not joking when I say this. What year are we in? Lauren Betts, Azzi Fudd, Olivia Moss, Tania Latson. You have Neepkins going fifth. That is mental. That is mental. Like, you've got someone from Mississippi State. You've got Flau'jae going seventh. You've got Flau'jae going behind Gianna Neepkins. This is crazy. First of all, that's nuts. Janiah Barker, maybe. Chloe Kitts first round. I don't know. And if Ashlyn Watkins is healthy, there is no way Ashlyn Watkins is going below Chloe Kitts. And you just had to put Raven Johnson in there. On the radar, Reagan Beers. I actually like the way Reagan Beers is now. People stopped putting her potentially number one. There's no way in hell that Raven Beers should be number one. Cody McMahon is way better than Raven Johnson. Diana Taurasi, believing she should be a WNBA player, should be good enough assessment for everyone else too. What are we talking about? I'm sorry. Like, Kevin Garnett said Ton Maker was going to be a future NBA MVP. Like, Rory Harmon, if Rory Harmon's healthy, she's going. Kiki Rice is going in the first round. But by the way, this is how little they know. There is a player that, I'm not joking when I say this, is the number two prospect. And this is a player who has had not even as much, more hype than Dominique Malonga overseas. And I'm looking at SB Nation not putting her in the first round. CBS Sports at least had her in the first round, which is good. But CBS Sports had her going something like, if I'm not mistaken, CBS Sports had her going like 7th. And I don't even mind 7th, because at least, like, again, you just never know what's going to happen, especially with overseas players. But if we looked at this year, 3 in the top 10, just because they're coming over at 19, they're playing pro at a younger and younger age. And I'm looking at, if I'm not, wow, did they forget to put her in as well? So they forgot to put her in, the Athletic forgot to put her in too. So this is the Athletics draft, is Flau'jae number 1. Flau'jae number 1 is a lot better than Flau'jae 7, in fairness. Ashlyn Watkins, Garzone from Maryland, Tania Latson 7, Neepkins 9, Kiki Rice 10, Talaysia Cooper, Dugalich. Like, there's no way Dugalich. I thought she was in this year's draft. Like, genuinely, I had her mocked in my draft this year. And then Hakwa is going 16th. They have literally decided to ignore Awa Fam. They're ignoring the probable best player in next year's draft. Because next year's draft is so stacked guards-wise, but it'll be interesting to see, because the 2026 class doesn't have the Paige Bueckers. You don't have, maybe Olivia Moss, you could argue, if she picks it up, but like, you don't have all these really, really high level players. But Awa Fam is in next year's draft. There is a good chance Awa Fam goes number 1. Like, if you look at how she's getting on, she played 2 years up in the European Championships under 20s, won MVP. She won MVP. She averaged 9 points per game for the Spain senior national team. This is a team, as far as I'm aware, that made the quarterfinals of the Olympics. She obviously didn't make the Olympics team. She's a year younger than Dominique Malonga. She is 18 years old. There was people saying she was snubbed making an Olympic team that made the quarterfinals at 17 years old. And again, She not only won MVP at the under-20s Eurobasket, she then went and played in the Eurobasket her own age, where she was just dominant. And obviously, look, didn't play very much EuroLeague for Valencia, but went on loan to a different team in the Spanish league. That's kind of the way things work in European leagues. Like if you're playing for like Valencia, by the way, where Leone Fibic, top team in EuroLeague. So like a higher level than Malonga's playing at. And obviously wasn't going to get anything. They'd rather, instead of her riding the bench, they would rather send her to another team in that division and let her dominate. Where she averaged like 10 points per game in, obviously in the Spanish league. And it's funny when I was looking at it because like she averaged 10.2 points per game in a really high league. Not a great 3-point shooter, but mechanics are good. And the funniest thing is that I was looking for her and I was looking for Awa Fam. And then I just saw Awa Thiam. And I'm like, there was a guy that played in Ireland, Talafam Thiam. I looked him up and turns out it's her brother. Turns out it's her brother. Her brother came over to Ireland, funnily enough, when he was like 16 years old. I think he finished school in Ireland, played pro here for a couple of years. And it's a funny one, like, imagine in a weird scenario where his sister joined him in Ireland and Awa Fam was playing in freaking Ireland. Like, imagine if that was a possibility. But yeah, that's a funny one. But if you just look at the way she plays, she is unbelievably polished. Like, and I don't understand why she's not being talked about, like, in the mock drafts. Like, you're looking at, again, just the way she can play. Her post footwork is already kind of there. The jump shot it's picture perfect. But again, the percentages aren't really there. But it is a really nice looking jump shot. So you can expect her to be able to develop that over time. And just the way that she plays in the post, just her footwork is already at a really high level. For, by the way, a 6'4" long wingspan athlete. 6'4" long, and this is, by the way, senior women's national team. There's Meg Gustafson. This is playing against, like, pros. She's up there playing against pros in these games, against Austria. Playing in the perimeter, pick and roll, can roll to the basket. Obviously, look, nothing crazy you're seeing right here. This is what her role is going to be at the senior level right now. She's 18 years old. Nice drop step footwork, can finish with both hands. And again, is 6'4", has that athleticism, already plays like a seasoned vet, is smart, is an not even iffy defender, is a good defender, but that's the worst thing she's at. Is her defense is what she is worst at. And look at her freaking wingspan. Like, how are the WNBA media so backwards that this is the exact, like, this is what they're continuing to do. And this is what they're continuing to do. They're making the same mistake again. They already made the mistake once in Dominique Malonga, that they just decided to pretend that Dominique Malonga did not exist until 2 weeks before the draft, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but how did nobody know that Dominique Malonga? Why are we not knowing? I'm not letting that happen with Awa Fam next year. I'm not letting that happen. I'm telling you guys, I'm not letting that happen. But like, if you just look at how she plays, this is the under-20s championship final, playing against people European championship final, playing against people 2 years older than her. Straight away, pop, start the game, bam, from 3. It's 2-0 against Poland, but she started off the game with 7 points in a row, I think, in that under-20s final. Like, she is extremely, extremely good. Not only that, like in the World Cup, she played in the under-19s World Cup and averaged 10.7 points per game. Like, I want to see, just look at some of her box scores. U19 World Cup. And by the way, this is a tournament that Juju Watkins played in. And Hidalgo. Like, if you're looking at the under-19 Women's World Cup, this is a tournament where a lot of Spain were second. Spain were second in this tournament. She is under 17. So she is playing 2 years up. So she's playing against everyone she's playing against is 2 years older than her. Like, she is right now born in 2006. Sorry, well, Juju was 1 year older than her. Under 19's World Cup, so you could be born in 2004. Averaging 10.7 points per game for a team that got to the final. So if you look at Awa Fam, 10.7 and 8. She had 10 against Austria. Against Team USA in the final, she had 11 points. Obviously 11 points, 5 boards, and was a plus was a +6. So she was a +6 against Team USA in the final. And this is, again, a Team USA team. I want to see just what happened, what the result was in the final. Okay, I've just looked at FIBA in general. So if you look at games, Spain versus USA. USA won by 3. And you know who's on this USA team? Hannah Hidalgo, Kiki Rice, Madison Booker, Cody McMahon, Chloe Kitts, Joyce Edwards, Grace Van Sluten. Why don't I think Juju Watkins is on this team? Maybe Juju Watkins wasn't. I'm wrong. Sorry. But still, Joyce Edwards, Grace Van Sluten, Chloe Kitts, Ali Zeibel, Madison Booker, Cody McMahon, Kiki Rice, Hannah Hidalgo, and she was +6 against that team in a game where she was, the third leading scorer? And by the way, she's 2 years younger than everybody else. So all of these players that people are talking about as these top picks in 2027, she's 2 years younger than all of them, was putting it up and getting the better of a lot of them. And she's not even on draft boards. She's going to be 19. You better believe, if Hannah Hidalgo would be a first-round pick this year, Madison Booker would have been a lottery pick if she was allowed to enter the draft this year. If Madison Booker was allowed to enter the draft in maybe she is allowed in 2027, to be honest, 2026 to be honest, obviously finishing college in 2027. But we're looking at a player who should be seen as the probable number 1 overall pick in a draft where, I'm sorry, Lauren Betts is good. Lauren Betts genuinely could be good. There is no reason why Awa Fam is not on first-round draft picks. There's no reason why she's not boards. There's no reason why she's not a top 6 or 7 pick. She's already playing meaningful minutes at 18 years old for one of the top 6 or 7 best nations in the world. She's already putting up 10 points per game in a really good pro league. And she is, again, calendar year younger than Malonga. Like, there's a good chance that she goes to Valencia next, back to her parent club in Valencia, and is starting for a EuroLeague team that could win EuroLeague at 18 or at 19 years old. There is no reason why Awa Fam is not seen as the top, or at least close to the top prospect. If you want to say Lauren Betts over, cool, but there should only be 2 bigs anywhere near the top of next year's draft. Next year's draft is super guard heavy. And if you need a big, the first choice realistically should be Awa Fam, because she has as much potential as Lauren Betts, if not more potential. Because again, she's what age? What year is Lauren Betts born in? So Lauren Betts is born in 2003. So she is 3 years younger than Lauren Betts. And I stand by this. If you can average 9 points per game playing for your national team, you could average 15 points per game in college. That's just my opinion. And again, Eurobasket under 20s MVP, averaging 10 and 7 for a team that nearly beat a United States team full of entirely made up of WNBA prospects. 10 and 7, nearly beating them. Again, playing in the under 16s championship, which is her own age, 13 and 10. Like, this is a player that is sky is the limit. That is a more polished player than Dominique Malonga, and has been called the best international player since prospect since Lauren Jackson. And again, Lauren Jackson's one of the 6 greatest players of all time, even though it's funny, with all the growth, she gets ignored by everyone other than Shannon Sharp. He's the only person that ever mentions Lauren Jackson when they're talking about the greats of the game. She's one of the greatest of all time. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is a video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And it's just so annoying seeing the WNBA media make the same mistake again. Like, how everyone knew who Wemby was for years. Everyone knew who Wemby was for years in the NBA because people actually cared. People actually gave a damn about looking at different places, because basketball is a worldwide sport. Like, you've got like somebody who's freaking who was born in Santa Pola, Alicante. I'm sorry, I've been to Santa Pola. I've been there. I've gone there a lot. I've spent quite a bit of time in Santa Pola. There's not much basketball going on in Santa Pola. She's someone whose brother ended up having to come play in art. Like, it's the basketball journey. No one's path in basketball is linear. She's someone whose brother ended up coming to Ireland to play basketball as a teenager. And obviously has made it in Spain and is one of the brightest prospects you can find. But again, the Spanish teenager might be the next best WNBA prospect in the world. Like, this is what's being written about her. There's an entire, like, podcast with Hunter Cruz and somebody else on the Locked On Women's Basketball podcast, and they're talking about her as if, like, this is when Malonga's, like, talking about her as by far better prospect than Malonga. I still think Malonga's got that greater potential, purely because she's 2 inches taller, but still, acting like Awa Fam is not a freakishly high level player too is just annoying. And it's so annoying seeing the most half-assed media ever, people that don't even watch the games, working for big publications and talking about the sport and saying stuff. And I'm like, you actually don't even watch the damn games. You don't even watch the sport. You don't even research players. All of this stuff is easy to do. If you are somebody that's talking in basketball, it should be the minimum you do. And I don't know, maybe I set myself to a different standard in a lot of situations by actually watching. And these people, not only do they not watch the games, they don't even watch the highlights. Like, you can kind of get an idea of what Awa Fam does from the highlights. And again, I'm not acting like I've watched her play a whole bunch. I watched back what I could find on YouTube, watched like 1 or 2 full games of her playing, watched bits of her playing when she was on the floor for the women's national team, for the senior national team, because again, most European games are on YouTube, which is easy to see. So you just watch when she's on the floor, these games. So 2 hours of research and you can get a general idea of what a player does. And the annoying thing is, the WNBA media, not only do they not even have a general idea of what Awa Fam does, they don't even know who Awa Fam is. She might go number 1, and the media does not know who she is. It's one thing with this happening to Malonga, but we've seen what has happened with Malonga, and they're continuing to pretend that anything outside of college does not exist. It is ridiculous.